Where's my camera? There it is. Hello. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Exercise with Exos. As for Joan, it is class number 2 for the day. Overachiever. Love to see it. My favorite. We have an awesome workout plan today. We're going to do a total body workout here, and our circuit today will be 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, 3 times through. We have some different movements coming up today too, so it'll be a good way to mix it up, keep you guys on your toes. So I'm going to go ahead and get started demonstrating everything that we'll be doing today. So to start off, we are going to be, fix that camera real quick. We're going to be on our hands and our knees to start here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do some bear crawls. So we're going to be on our hands and our knees. Our knees are going to be slightly lifted off the ground here. So I'll show you from this side angle here. So we are on our hands and we're on our toes. Our knees are bent slightly off the ground. We're going to move forward 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then backwards 1, 2, 3. So we're trying to keep those hips pointed towards the ground. Our core is tight, back is flat, and our knees are just slightly off of the ground. So that is the first exercise there. And then after that, we're going to do some lower body work. So we're going to be doing some kneeling squats here. So we're going to start on our knees here. I'll show you from both angles here. So on the knees, just like a regular squat stance, but on the knees. And then we're going to squeeze the glutes, lift up and back down. So it's mainly here just one movement. So we're on our knees, tall kneeling, pushing those hips back, squeezing, standing up. So that's a different way to work our glutes. And then we're going to go ahead and be on our hands and our toes here. We're going to do some plank toe taps. So we're going to be in a plank position here, core tight, back flat. We're going to push ourselves up, tap the opposite toe back down, push up, opposite toe back down. So we're using those shoulders to push ourselves up, keep everything nice and stable. And then next thing we're going to do, we're going to stand on up. We're going to do some squats, but we're just going to stay in the bottom half of our squat here. So feet are going to be shoulder width apart as always. We're going to go all the way down to start. We're just going to come halfway up, back down, halfway up, back down. So we're squeezing the glutes, heel big toe, little toe pushing off the ground. We're going to feel that a lot in our quads as well. And then what we're going to do is some more upper body. So we're going to do some inchworms with a push-up. So starting on one end here, we're going to go into a forward fold. So hips are going back, hands on the ground, walking out into a plank position here. And then we're going to do a push-up. And then we're going to push ourselves back up and then walk our feet to our hands and then turn around to the other side. So that's going to be the inchworm with a push-up. And then finally, we're going to end on the ground, on our hands and our knees, with some quadruped opposites, or otherwise known as bird dogs. So we're going to sink into our hips a little bit here. So hips are a little bit behind the knees, core is tight, back and flat. We're going to reach with one arm and the opposite leg here, making sure that our hip is pointed down towards the ground. We don't want to be open here. We want to be towards the ground and then back down, reaching out, extending as far as we can, and back down. We really want to make sure that we're using our glutes to extend, so that way our low back is nice and flat. We don't want to be arching that back to bring our leg behind us. We want to be nice and tight there. So that is going to be our full circuit today. So we can go ahead and get started with our warm-up here. And we're going to start off with the world's greatest stretch. So we're going to start in the top of our space here. Also, if you want to know what movement is coming up next, if you forget or you want to just watch as I'm following along, go ahead and check out the chat. Luis just dropped that in there for us. So thank you, Luis. And we're going to start in the front of our area, front of our space with the world's greatest stretch. So we're going to go ahead and grab onto the right knee here, pulling it towards our chest. Nice big deep breath. And on the exhale, stepping back into a reverse lunge, keeping that back leg nice and straight. Hands are going to the inside of that front foot here. One nice big deep belly breath. And on the exhale, we're taking the left arm, reaching up towards the ceiling. So my left leg is in front, so my left arm is up towards the ceiling, gazing past our thumb, keeping the back leg nice and straight, feeling that opening up our hips. And on our next exhale, placing that hand on the outside of the front foot, pushing ourselves up into that hamstring stretch. Trying to get our bodies close to that front knee as we can. And on the next exhale, bringing the right foot next to left foot. We're gonna stand on up, squeezing those glutes. Awesome. All right, up next, we're gonna do that same thing on the other side. So interlacing our fingers, grabbing the left knee, pulling the left knee towards the chest. Nice big deep breath. And on the exhale, stepping back into that reverse lunge. Hands are going on the inside of that front foot. So right foot is in front now, hands on the inside here. Nice big deep breath, keeping that back leg nice and straight. On the exhale, reaching up towards the ceiling with the right hand, gazing past that thumb. Keeping that back leg nice and straight. On the next exhale, we're gonna plant that hand on the outside of the front foot, pushing ourselves up into that hamstring stretch. So our body's getting as close to that front knee as we can. And on the next exhale, bringing the left foot next to the right foot, we're gonna stand on up. Awesome. All right, last part of the warm-up, we're gonna get down on our hands and our knees here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some quadruped rocking, getting those hips nice and warmed up. So hands under the shoulders, knees a little bit wider than hip width here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna keep that core tight. We're gonna rock back glutes to the heels, squeeze the glutes and come back onto those hands. So we're keeping that pelvis nice and locked in by using that core. So we're bracing through the core, squeezing the glutes to come back up. We're getting ready for all those lower body exercises we're gonna be doing. And wherever we're at, let's go ahead and do one more rock back. Awesome. All right, I think we're ready to go ahead and get started now. So again, we are doing 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, 3 times through. We're starting with our bear crawl. So we're gonna moving backwards 3 and forwards 3 as well, okay? So that is gonna be the first thing we're doing here, getting the timer ready in 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're on the hands and our knees. Our knees are just hovering over the ground. Whoops. We're doing opposite hand, opposite leg, keeping those hips pointed towards the ground here, making sure we're keeping our core nice and tight. Don't forget to breathe. Going just 3 steps each way. Apparently I can't get the opposite sides going. So whatever's working best, that's what we're gonna go with today. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, up next, we're doing our kneeling squats. So we're gonna start in that tall kneeling position. Our knees are gonna be roughly hip width apart as if we were standing. Just working on our glutes here. 3, 2, 1. So our core is tight. We're bringing our glutes to our heels, squeezing the glutes, standing, or not standing up, I guess. We're coming back to tall kneeling. So keeping our back flat, our core is tight, so our pelvis is, we want a straight line as we're standing up. So we squeeze the glutes all the way up until our hips are right in between our shoulders and our knees. Squeezing. This is a good way to kind of strengthen the glutes a little bit more without having to do real squats. We did a lot of them this morning, so switching it up today. 3, 2, 1. All right, next up, we have plank toe taps. So we're gonna be in that plank position, hands under the shoulders, pushing up, touching opposite toe and back to that plank position. Got a few more seconds. 3, 2, 1. So we're in that plank position, hands below the shoulders, pushing up, touching opposite toe with our hand. So right hand touching left toe and left hand touching right toe. Making sure that we're in our plank position, our feet, or our toes, I guess, whatever you want to say, and our knees, our hips, our shoulders are all in one straight line. So we're not dipping down too far. We're also letting our hips come down. We don't want our butt too far up or too far down. We want one straight line from our head to our toes. 3, 2, 1. Almost missed that countdown for you guys. Not losing count that far, that soon. Okay, next up, we're going to be standing and we're working in the bottom half of our squats. We're gonna go all the way back down. We're only coming halfway up. 3, 2, 1. So our feet are shoulder width apart here. We're coming all the way down, but then we're just going from the bottom to halfway. So feet, whole foot is on the ground, heel big toe, little toe. We're keeping our core tight, our chest is open, making sure that our pelvis is tucked. And we're squeezing the glutes using our quads as well. Knees are out past our second toe to really let us get that depth that we need here. 3, 2, 1. Stand all the way up now. All right. Next up, we're doing our inchworm with the push-ups. So we're starting on one side of our space, walking our hands out, doing a push-up, keeping our hands nice and tight here. 3, 2, 1. So we're bending forward, hands to the ground, walking them out into a plank, into our push-up, pushing ourselves up, walking those feet to the hands, trying to keep those legs as straight as we can. When we need to stand up, we're squeezing the glutes. We do not want to stand up with our backs. So as we get our feet under our hands, my back is flat, my core is tight, I'm squeezing the glutes just like an RDL there. All right, let's try and get one more in here. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're resting. Last up here, back to the ground, hands and knees. We're doing quadruped opposites, which are very similar to bird dogs. And by very similar, I mean it's the same movement. So on the hands and knees, 3, 2, 1. So core is tight. We're extending opposite arm, opposite leg. Squeeze the glute. Hips are pointed towards the ground. We don't want to open up too much. We want to make sure our hips are slightly behind the knees so we have that stability. And the majority of the weight is in our knees here, not in the hands. We want to keep it nice and stable, using our core to keep our body nice and stable. 3, 2, 1. All right, we got 20 seconds. Starting back at the top with our bear crawls. So we are going forwards and backwards, knees slightly off the ground. We got 2 more rounds to go. 3, 2, 1. So these, we're going try and go opposite arm, opposite foot. Keep our shoulders above the hands. Core is tight. Hips are facing the ground. Try and stay as close to the ground as we can with our knees. If you need to take a second, take a second. These are really like fire on the quads. If you did notice, we do not have any burpees today, but I don't know if these are really better than burpees. I think I'd rather be doing burpees. I don't know about y'all. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Next up, kneeling squats. So we're starting off in a tall kneeling position here. Knees are going to be shoulder width, hip width apart. We're bringing the hips towards the glutes, squeezing, coming back up, keeping that pelvis nice and tight. 3, 2, 1. So pushing the hips back just as if we were squatting. Very similar to our quadruped rocking that we did to warm up here. So as we come back, we're keeping our core tight. We're not letting our pelvis swing. And that's going to be by keeping the core tight. We also want to make sure as we squeeze the glutes and we come up, we don't want to push our hips in front of the shoulders. Shoulders, hips, knees stacked in one straight line. Squeezing the glutes all the way up. If you're not sure if you're squeezing them, you can always place your hands on those glutes, making sure you're feeling the contraction. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up are the plank toe taps. So we're pushing off the ground, touching the opposite toes here, keeping that core tight, using the shoulders to push ourselves up. 3, 2, 1. So hands under the shoulders, exhaling, using the core, keeping that core tight, tapping, opposite toe. Awesome job, y'all. Keep pushing. This is a workout, really involves the shoulders here. If you missed out on Luis's stretch break, he did warn everyone that we were going to be doing some type of shoulder workout today, but we can always assume that's coming with me. 3, 2, 1. All right, up next, bottom half squats, aka the quad killer today. So we're going to be going all the way to the bottom. We're only squatting halfway up, right back down. Okay. 3, 2, 1. So going all the way down here, but we're not going to stand all the way up until the time is up here. So we're squeezing the glutes, heel, big toe, little toe, coming, pushing off the ground. We don't want them to come off the ground, push off the ground, making sure that our chest is open. So our shoulder blades are pulled down and back, squeezing the glutes as we come up. Just staying in the bottom half here. Keep pushing. I know it's burning. The quads are feeling it. 3, 2, 1. Standing all the way up. Whew. We only have one more to go of those, thankfully. Up next, we got the inchworm with that push up at the bottom, walking the feet to the hands, using those glutes to stand up, just like an RDL. 3, 2, 1. Hips back, hands to the ground, walking them out into that plank, pushing up and walking the feet. Making sure our back is flat, squeeze the glutes just like an RDL, come back up. So it makes this a nice, functional, total body movement. Great job. Luckily, these also take a long time, so you don't have to do that many push-ups. Because as much as I like shoulders, I don't like push-ups. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're resting. Back onto the ground, quadruped opposites. Now we're starting back at the top. One more round after this. Then we'll cool down and be able to get on with the rest of this beautiful day. 3, 2, 1. Hands under the shoulders, sinking into the hips here. Really making sure that our glutes are keeping our legs stable of the knee that's on the ground, but also using those glutes, squeezing as we extend, making sure we're not using our low back. Core is also tight, so that back is flat, making sure that we're not extending too far up, because if we extend too far up, it's going to make our low back have a dip. It's going to put too much stress there. So we're just squeezing the glutes, going, extending out as far as we can. Oh, sorry, we're resting. I promise I was just at time. I didn't count down, but it was at 40 seconds, I promise. All right, we got like 10 more seconds, starting at the top with bear crawls. These ones are tough. You guys are doing great. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're on our hands and our knees here, elevating those knees just above the ground. Opposite arm, opposite knee. So for some reason for me, it's hard going backwards, but forwards is fine. Got to think a little bit, I guess, today during the workout. Dang it, that was not opposite. Great job, everyone. I'm just talking to myself at this point. Really using those legs, keeping the core tight. 3, 2, 1. Whew. All right, those are done. Next up, kneeling squats. Starting in a tall kneeling position. Glutes to heels, squeezing, coming back up. 3, 2, 1. So core tight, pelvis is tucked, glutes to the heels, squeeze, come back up. If you want to make it more challenging, you can always grab some weight, or what I'm doing right now is really focusing on that squeeze, going nice and slow, focusing on using my glutes to not only come up to standing, but also making sure we're focusing on them as we bring them to the heels. So they should be engaged the whole time, not just when we're coming up to the tall kneeling. 3, 2, 1. All right, up next, plank toe taps. Last set of these, using our arms, using the core. I don't know why my nose is running so bad right now. All right, plank toe taps. 3, 2, 1. Hands right below the shoulders. Exhaling, keeping that core engaged. Pushing ourselves up, tapping the opposite toe. Awesome job, y'all. Keeping those hips in line with the shoulders and toes as we go into the plank. Doing awesome. Keep pushing. We're almost there. It's our last time doing this. Up next, we got the bottom half squats. 3, 2, 1. All right. Bottom half squats are next. It's the last time we're doing this. We'll make sure to focus on some quads and legs in our cool down. I'm sure Luis will add some leg stuff in the stretch break later. 3, 2, 1. So going all the way down, we're only coming to roughly halfway where our femurs are parallel with the ground. So it's kind of like a pulse here. Squeezing through the glutes. Heel, big toe, little toe. Pushing the ground away from us. Our core is tight. Our shoulder blades are pulled down and back to make sure our chest is up. We don't want our chest down here. We want it up. And then making sure our knee, the inside part of our knee is directly over that second toe. 3, 2, 1. All right, we are done with those. Up next, inchworms with the push-up. So going each direction, turn around, go back. Use those glutes to stand up. 3, 2, 1. Push the hips back, hands to the ground, walking those hands out. Keeping the elbows nice and tight in our push-ups here. Keep those legs as straight as we can. Squeeze the glutes, stand up. Awesome job, y'all. Use those arms, keeping those elbows nice and tight. Use the chest to push up. Awesome job. We got time for 1 to 2 more inchworms here. Get those push-ups going. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last exercise of Exos today. Quadruped opposites. And then we'll go ahead and cool down. Great job, everyone. Last set, best set. 3, 2, 1. So sinking into our hips, squeezing the glutes, extending out as far as we can while keeping our core tight. So our hips are slightly behind our knees, kind of like we're doing with our rocking beforehand. Making sure that our weight is in our glutes. Our hips are pointed down. We got headlights on our hips. We're blind in the floor. Still breathing. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, and we are done with the workout today. Awesome job, you guys. I know it was a little bit different. It was a little bit less cardio based, a little bit more functional strength based, but it's always good to have a variety of workouts, especially since I know y'all come to a lot of our classes. So let's go ahead, get a sip of water if you need it. And we're gonna make our way into a half kneeling position when everyone is ready. So what we're gonna do here, if you need to grab a pillow or something for your knee, feel free to do that. So I'm gonna start with my right leg on the ground, left foot on the ground. We're gonna do some hip flexor stretch. We're also gonna do a hamstring, hip flexor hamstring. So we're making it a little bit more active, dynamic. We're still gonna be stretching here. So we're gonna tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glute with the knee that's on the ground, push those hips forward. So my right knee is on the ground, right arm overhead here. Breathing nice and deep into our belly, feeling everything expand, including the front of the hip here. Nice big deep breath. On the exhale, bring the glutes to the heels, rock back into that hamstring stretch. So toes to the ceiling, bringing our body as close to the ground as we can. And on our next exhale, rocking back into our hip flexor stretch, reaching overhead, squeeze that glute, pelvis is tucked, pushing as far as feels comfortable. Nice big deep belly breath on the exhale, rocking back into that hamstring stretch. This is our last one. We'll switch over to the other side after this next breath. So nice big deep inhale. On the exhale, releasing out and switching over to our other side here. So left knee on the ground, right foot on the ground. Same deal, tuck the pelvis, keep that glute squeeze, push the hips forward, reach the left arm overhead. So if your left knee is on the ground, left arm overhead. Nice big deep belly breath, feeling that front hip expand. And on the next exhale, rocking back into the hamstring stretch. Toes to the ceiling. Bring that chest as close to the knee as we can. On the next exhale, rocking back into the hip flexor. Last one here, squeeze the glute, pelvis is tucked, hips are forward, reaching our hand above head. And exhaling, rocking back to the hamstring stretch. Nice big deep inhale. And we can go ahead and exhale and release out of that stretch. And last thing we're going to do here is we're just going to do a little bit of child's pose. So we're going to be on the hands and knees, take those knees a little bit wider than hip width, sink in the hips back, walk the hands out, forehead, chin, or cheek to the ground. You do 3 big deep breaths here. So inhaling through the nose into the belly, slowly exhaling out of the mouth. Awesome job, everyone. One more deep breath here. And after that exhale, we can gently come out of that, or you can stay there if you'd like. You can come up onto your hands and knees, return to seated, kneeling, or standing. That's going to be all the time I have for you all today with Exercise to Exhale. So thank you all so much for joining me. You guys did amazing. Don't forget, we do have dance with John today at 12:30. So if you want to get dance class in right now, feel free to join. If you also would like to have some more stretching today after that workout, I think it's necessary, you can join us at 2:30 with a stretch break with Luis. And Luis is also teaching abs and core tonight at 4:30. So great job, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all soon.